If you're just getting through Desert Treasure 2, or maybe you finished it a little while ago and are looking for a refresher post-quest, this guide is going to give you literally everything you need to start sending your first kills at Duke Sucellus, as well as some extra tips to optimize the run and a full demo kill to make sure everything is crystal clear. After some recent changes to this boss, I'm giving this guide a refresh, as with all my guides, we'll cut out the crap and get started straight away. Let's quickly go through the gear. Like most bosses, you want the best melee strength boosting gear you have. However, we'll show you the minimum viable option and you can upgrade yourself from there. For your weapon, an Abyssal Whip is going to be your best budget option. If you're just learning, even if you have a better weapon, try and stick to something with a 4-tick attack speed. You'll see why a little bit later. For your armor, a helm of Neatisno, full obsidian, an amulet of glory, dragon boots, the best RFD gloves you have, a blessing, an obby cape and a dragon defender will do you just fine. I've purposely missed out the ring slot, as this is a pricey slot to fill for not very much value. Personally, I wear a light bearer for literally everything, simply because more specs equals more fun. It's always worth bringing a spec weapon, even a DDS is viable. It's not cheap, but if you've got a BGS, it's definitely worth bringing for the defense reduction. Like I said, this is all the bare minimum to actually have a good time. I'm willing to bet most players watching will have way better gear than this, so crack on and equip those upgrades if you got them. Just to prove a point, I'll be doing this in even worse gear during the demo kill. For the rest of your inventory, you'll need a pickaxe and a pestle and mortar for the prep phase, a teleport to get here and a teleport to get out. The rest of your inventory should be filled with prayer potions, food and super combat potions. The exact ratio depends on your gear, stats, how good you are and how long you're going to spend here, but my setup on screen is a good starting point. Now we're ready to go. The quickest way to get here is by using the Ring of Shadows once you've unlocked it with the teleport tablet from Duke, but let's assume you don't have that. Next best thing is some icy basalt. Pop this, run through the shortcuts, and head downstairs. You'll find Duke in the Gorok prison. Before we can slap the big man about a bit, we need to wake him up by feeding him some potions that we can make with items gathered from around the arena. For the prep phase, you'll need to navigate through the laser beam eyes and shadows on the floor to mine all the mushrooms. There are 2 different types on each side of the arena. There are some hazards in the way, but if you wait until the right time, you can run across in one swift movement. Dealing with these hazards is important. Failing here could mean instant death. For both sides, we wait until the far south laser eye fires and then just run straight across. Mine the mushrooms on the north wall until you have 8 of them, and then on the return journey, wait until the far north eye fires. Just go all the way across. If there are no shadows in the floor on your way, you can get across in one click, but if there are shadows in your path, you can divert diagonally or run over them like I'm doing on screen now. You should have enough time to stop just before and run over it if you have to. Once you've collected the mushrooms from each side, grind them up with your pestle and mortar. Now we need to get some salt from the mining spots in the central area. You can mine as many of these as you like, but at a minimum, for one batch of potions, you'll need 72 Salac salt. The only thing you need to worry about is avoiding the gas vents that explode on the floor. If you run just after they stop firing, you've got more than enough time to get to the mining spot. Once you've got the last of the stuff, go to the vats at the back of the arena and bounce between them, adding in ingredients and collecting potions. When you've got 6 potions, you're ready to feed them to Duke and begin the actual fight. You'll have enough potions for 3 kills before needing to do all of this prep again. Let's quickly run through the mechanics that you'll need to be aware of before showing you a full demo kill to put it into practice. The first thing to be aware of is that you only want to use the row of tiles closest to the boss. You'll be using Protect from melee, but if you step back, he'll blast you with a powerful magic attack. The next thing to deal with is avoiding his melee attack. You simply need to step out the way every time Duke tries to whack you. You'll see spikes come out the floor, and they can be avoided by either stepping backwards or behind the pillars on either side of the arena. For beginners, I definitely recommend using the pillars to avoid the attack, just to make sure you don't get caught off guard by the aforementioned magic attack. This mechanic makes the fight super rhythmic. Attack the boss, step out, attack the boss, step out, repeat. There will be 2 mechanics that will break this cycle though, and you need to be aware of them. After every 5 ground slam attacks, you'll need to make sure you stay behind the pillar to avoid the insta-kill Ice Barrage freezing attack. As soon as Duke starts to open his eye, stay behind the pillar until you hear the Ice Barrage sound effect, and begin the attack cycle again. You'll also have to contend with the gas vents on the floor. Generally, you'll need to wait until the gas starts spurting and immediately run to the other pillar. This can be quite hard to spot initially, but as you practice, you'll realise you do have a little bit of time before you start taking damage. Once you get Duke down low, his attack cycle will speed up. This is why we've bought that 4-tick weapon. If you have a slower weapon, it can be tough to manage when to attack. That's all the mechanics covered, so let's run through a demo prep and demo kill. This video is time-stamped if you want to skip through the prep or to the extra tips at the end. Before we do that though, if you found this video useful so far, please drop the video a like and subscribe if you want to see more boss guides and other tips and tricks from me. Okay, so we're at Duke Sucellus. We're going to drop 4 sharks. I said drop 4 sharks. I meant drop 4 sharks, not eat 1 and drop 3. So do as I say, not as I do. We start off on this row of stairs. And as soon as that first blob fires, we run all the way across, avoiding the shadows on the floor if we can. And we pick mushrooms. Remember, we need to pick 8 mushrooms. And then once we've got all of those, we can either grind them up immediately, depending on what timings we've got, or just run back and grind them up in a minute. In this case, because the closest Duke has just fired, I'm going to run back before I grind them up, doing a little diagonal there to avoid these shadows on the floor. We need to head over to the other side and grab 8 more of the mushrooms. So again, go to the little bit of stairs. The shadows can't fall on the stairs. They'll do like around 20 damage to you if you get hit by them and stun you in place. And there, the first blob's gone. We ran all the way to the thing in one go. And we can grab 8 more of these mushrooms. So every single run, just to keep things simple, there are more optimal ways you can do it. If you're going for a, well, you're not going for a speedrun kill because they've changed the way that works. But just wait until the closest one fires and head all the way back. So now we've got all of our mushrooms. We are just going to need to avoid that gas there. Nice and easy, nice and clear. And we need to mine as much salt as we want. So I'm going to mine 72 salt here. That'll be enough to make 6 potions. But if you're going to be here for, the long haul, you might be doing 9 kill trips if you've got better gear than that, maybe even like 18 kill trips if you're really stacked out. You can mine as much of this right now as you want. So keep building that stack if you want. I'm going to get 75 because that's all I need. So we'll wait for this gas to disappear. We'll grind some mushrooms in the meantime. And then we need to get back here, avoiding the gas, grind the rest of our mushrooms up. And then we need to load up these 2 fermenting vats at either side of the arena. So we're just going to bounce back and forth between these 2 vats until we've got 6 of those orange potions in our inventory. I'm just going to take a breath here because I've been talking for a very long time. Okay, we are recovered. That was, I've never talked so long continuously. That might be the longest 10 boot take ever with no cuts. So yeah, brilliant. But yeah, we're keeping going through here. You can keep dumping your extra supplies in there if you're going to be coming back. But I'm not going to bother because I'm just doing 3 kills here. So we need to use those 2 potions on Duke. You can either use them on him or double click him to feed him. We will put our prayer on, get our spec, pot up, and just dump our DDSs on him. So we've got 4 specs here. If you had a BGS, you might just, use 1 spec and conserve your special attack energy for subsequent quills. But we're not going to worry about that. We're just going to keep this strategy going of dipping in, dipping out, and getting the hits on him. So, let's go through that. We hit him, we dip out. We hit him, immediately dip out. We hit him, so we're waiting for the white smoke to show up before we dip in. So that was the gas attack, so immediately we just run all the way to the other side. And continue the dip in, dip out, dipping out as soon as he attacks us. So that's the eye we have to dodge. So we just wait for the ice barrage sound effect and we dip straight back in. So you can see what I mean by this being a very rhythmic fight. And you can squeeze in attacks here, like, as you go. So, hit, out, and then we hide for the eye attack. Ice barrage, hit, out, always squeezing that extra attack. Hit, out, run to the other side for the smoke ball. And you know what? I don't need to show you a full example kill. If you haven't got it by now, actually, no, there's one more mechanic you need to see. He will speed up eventually, so we'll fast forward to that. Okay, As you can see, after this next hit, so he's going to speed up now. He's only going a little bit faster, but it really does impact the fight if you've got a 5-tick weapon. If you've got a 4-tick weapon, it doesn't matter much at all, because you can always get the attacks in. But if you've got the 5-tick weapon, then you are probably going to need to wait until every other attack before you damage him. And that's it. As you can see, I've got loads of supplies to go through 2 more kills. I've got the potions to feed him to make him actually spawn, and I've got plenty of combat potions, plenty of prayer, and plenty of food. So we can just wait until he's ready again, feed him up with the poison, and then jump our specs, and we're ready for round 2. For some extra tips that you might have noticed in the demo kill, there are a couple of ways to squeeze in some extra damage. You can get extra attacks in immediately after the eye laser attack, and whilst running between pillars in the gas attack. Your timing does have to be spot on for this to work, but when you can master this, it massively speeds up the fight. You can also get an attack in straight away before his first attack. This is usually when I dump my BGS spec. It can be worth bringing thralls if you've unlocked them for that little bit of extra DPS to speed up the kills. If you get a gold ring on your drop, that means you've rolled on the pricey vestige drop table. You need to roll this 3 times, so after you get your second gold ring, you should persevere to get that big drop. If you've made it this far, you definitely owe me that sub. I'm sure I'll be able to help you out on plenty of other bosses. If you're struggling, think you'll be able to help other people out, or just want a nice place to hang out with like-minded RuneScape players, check out my Discord. We've been doing learner raids, coaching people through fire capes in voice chat. We've just generally got a great little community going. If you want to catch me on live, you can find me on Twitch, building up my main account and going for the Grandmaster Combat achievements. Big shout out to my YouTube channel members, Chizomni, Omega0240, Bad Trip World, and Matt J, as well as my Twitch subs Buddy V and Mr. Ryo. You are all absolute legends. That's it from me. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you next time.